Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Chinese qualifiers. Here we have Vici Gaming versus Newbee.Y. We are going to be bringing you guys game 2 of this 2-game series, or best of 2, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, this is just group stage games, so they can draw, they can go 2-0. It all depends on Vici's potential victory here. They are already up 1-0 in this matchup over Newbee.Y, but Newbee.Y, they really took the fight to Vici in the first game. A lot of early aggression, which we unfortunately didn't get to see. Some delays on my behalf, and once again, I am sorry for that. But now we get the full game, and we get to kind of slow down a little bit. Enjoy the draft, enjoy the real mind games that come out when it comes down to these Chinese drafts, and obviously what they bring to the playing field shortly thereafter. So once again, I'd like to welcome you to the broadcast here Beyond the Summit. I myself am Blaze, and I am joined by FlyingZebra Dota. How's it going, man?
Good, and it seems like we're gonna see some EG-esque draft from Vici Gaming or Storm Zeus.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of potential damage output. What strong points would you say are with this draft opener? Is it the ability to jump the sniper when he's squishy before he has BKB?
Yeah, when you're consciously leaving out the sniper, it's nice to just pick up an answer right from the start, just in case. Because if they were to pick up the sniper instead, then the newbie could counter with the storm. And the Zeus just makes it a lot easier to deal with him as well. Like, you always get vision of him, or whatever target you need to.
So, I mean, you do have the defensive swap back to try to save the sniper's life, but I feel like you need some raw HP on him. You could go for like an Omni Knight to get the repel to help him against the storm jump. You can go for like the Treant Protector for the living armor if it's not banned out as this 4th ban from Vici. Otherwise, you probably need a mech carrier just to kind of give him that quick boost of HP, because otherwise it's storm jumps in, Zeus ultis, and your sniper falls splat.
Yeah, it's pretty much the story, unless you get something like you said, like a mech carrier. Maybe like an Enigma would be pretty good. Make it harder for the storm to go in, or even the tide from last game that Vici picked up could be something that they use. I think they're going to be forced into doing some kind of 5-man draft against the storm.
Interesting. Obviously, you have to be very respectful of Super Storm Spirit. He is pretty much one of the most just definitive Storm Spirit players in the Chinese scene, but I mean, how much do you really commit to counteracting one guy's plans? I mean, you're saying 5-man strat. It seems like it's a great way to curb the draft, but do you actually go into like hard counter picks against a Storm Spirit, or do you just let him play with his full mana pool?
I don't think you necessarily have to, but something like a line would be nice to have. But if they feel like they really want a 5-man, they might just go for like a Chen and then maybe like a Centaur or something. Something that can counter-initiate and give them some strong 5-man potential.
Sure. I can't dream to draft on FY or MK's potential, but if this was like an NA Dota draft, I'd feel more comfortable saying, you know what Newbee.Y should go for? They should go for like a support Night Stalker here. You still get the early tempo, damage, and stuff like that, but then you suddenly have a silence to actually address the Storm and Zeus more directly once the later nights hit. I don't know, it's just... That's more offensive support than defensive. Obviously, the sniper would still have survivability issues, but I kind of like the tempo that kind of role and hero brings.
Yeah, and it makes it a little harder for the storm to really initiate anywhere. Less vision to work with. Then you're pretty much relying on the Zeus.
Very true. So, with that, Newbee.Y, they're still a little tentative here. They ban out a Slark and a Lion. This is a really odd mix of heroes to ban out. Obviously, both of them very impactful bans, and things that the Venge would have difficulty dealing with as far as counteracting that all-around support, and I mean, pinning down a Slark. He can pounce and Dark Pack the missile off. Yeah, it just seems like it's just something they don't really have the control over, but they go for a classic duo. They go for the Lost Lovers, Vengeful Spirit, and Skywrath Mage, and that does give them the silence that I'm talking about. It does mean you're a bit squishier, you're not tower diving necessarily, but you can just poke away with a lot of magical damage, and then, of course, you do have the Ancient Seal. Is there any chance that the Skywrath Mage will actually babysit the Sniper mid for the first couple levels?
I'd say so, yeah. There could definitely be some dual lanes going on. If they want to be really gank heavy, maybe they won't do that because then he'll just be playing scared all the time. If they want to like do a smoke later, or in the early stages, like around 3 minutes or something.
5 seconds remaining.
So Vici go for Nature's Prophet this time around. Why do you think Nature's Prophet is becoming so popular? I mean, obviously you get the global power here, the Wrath of Nature, along with the Thunder God's Wrath, throw in the Storm Spirit and you've got a kill. But it's just, it really seems like a surprising pick that both teams have selected, and now here in Phase 2.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna round it out with like I feel like Vici's probably not gonna go in as all-in-y as Newbee did last game with the pickoffs potential and stuff, but I wonder how they plan on rounding it out differently.
Well, in pub games, I would see following up with a support Ancient Apparition and then a core Veno. Just go carry Venomancer and figure out ways to make that work, where you can just do all the AoE nuke damage and then have all those magical finishers just to kill people off. But I don't really feel like that's the game plan for Vici. They want to kind of use these 3 heroes they've already picked up as space creators. They use the ultimates, use the global capability and maneuverability of Storm and Furion to build space for whatever carries they're going to pick up for how, and kind of go from there. Ice, he's pretty good on Nature's Prophet. Like, it's not his best hero or anything, but he plays an amazing Nature's Prophet, has great global map sense, and when he just kind of pinpoints a target that they want to focus down, he can make the jump, Storm Spirit can make the jump, maybe both of them at the same time, and that's why I think the lifestealer pick is really strong here. It's actually going to allow them to have a carrier reliably farming in an aggressive position, because right now there's no way to stop the Rage TP. You can try to orchid him beforehand, but if he gets the Rage off, he should be fine.
Yeah, and it's almost like a deny pick as well, because something Vici could have ran here that could have been pretty dangerous for the sniper especially.
So what's the reason that a lifesteal is really good against sniper? Is it if he invests inside somebody who blinks on sniper, or like the ball lightning, for example? Is that would be the game plan of how it picked it up?
Yeah, exactly. It would have been the Storm or the Prophet ganking with lifestealer, and it just would have made everything really hard. It would have been like pretty much impossible to split push.
10 seconds remaining.
Got it. I mean, the Vengeful Spirit Swap is still going to be a really good way to react to a lot of these tough situations, but overall, I still think it's going to be mostly Sniper kind of farming under tower only, and then Lifestealer is going to be farming more forward. But now you've got another potential Initiator here who can make a quick jump. You blink Echo Slam, and although it's a big cooldown to exhaust, it's also an instant stun. That ability has pretty much no cast points, so Lifestealer might be caught off guard by that, or this could be just another hero to build up their team fight with. I mean, they can turtle hard with these heroes if they want to pick up like a hyper late game carry. Like, I could see how going Spectre here, no problem. Oh, banned out, never mind.
And Newbee was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that would be pretty much like the ultimate carry for how to pick up here, though. Like, they've already got 2 global abilities. They've got the turtle potential with Nature's Prophet, Earthshaker, even Zeus a little bit. So they can go really late game carry, and I think the Spectre would have been brilliant. But I don't know. At this point, do you think of somebody else? I mean, Medusa is still late game carry. Not as really able to contribute the same way the Spectre can with her Haunt, but still, would you go hyper late game with this, or would you have a different strategy?
It's hard to say, because I can't tell if they're wanting to... It seems like it might be a core Zeus. The Nyx spin is pretty good against Zeus, so...
So you think just safe lane Storm, mid Zeus, and offlane Prophet?
Yeah, I feel like they're going to want some more utility out of another hero here.
I don't think I've seen how run any of that, but I mean, it's definitely possible
I think he plays Storm.
Yeah, and definitely not the same level as Super, but if you want to make the draft work and you want to put that core in the Zeus in the core role, I think Hal would be running the Storm safe lane. So, Brewmaster is your last pick from Newbee.Y. They actually really upped their 5-man potential here with this pick. Like, they didn't have anything that could tank on the front line other than the Lifestealer, that's not his job. But yeah, Brewmaster jumping in now. I mean, he can blink forth, he can get the clap, and once that happens, like, you've got your shrapnel laid down, you've just got your opportunity to right-click away, and Brew can really kind of suppress fire a little bit. If they go for the Orchid on Storm Spirit pretty early on, then there can still be some problems for the Panda Man initiation, but it's a good pick just for kind of getting that initiation in line, and one that 456 has played quite a bit. Ooh, so
Alright,
support
something
Zeus.
a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, so support Zeus will come out. How on the Weaver. Could they aggro try with this? I don't really feel that's our strong point, but I'm also not a big fan of Furion in the off lane, so... Oh, FY Furion, never mind. They made it work. I'm seeing the puzzle pieces connect together now. Nature Prophet support. He'll start out the way Puppy does it, and we'll see how much of an early game impact he has. But yeah, essentially you can go Jungle Prophet. You can kind of start ganking around level 2 or 3. I've usually seen the Ring of Basilius opener for this purpose, but I mean you could go like straight into the Urn of Shadows early on, Mass Null Tallies. There's so much stuff you can do. He's even taunting here in the Fountain. He's going to have a good game for himself, but... Yeah, it leaves their lanes a little weak, but because you have a Weaver who is able to escape tough situations all the time, I think that it's going to be alright.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately getting a slideshow Dota right now.
Well, since we're in the lobby, you have a little bit more options there. If you just X out of the game, try to reconnecting in. The worst case scenario, I think, is you have to restart Dota 2 entirely, but it should be pretty fixable.
Alright, I'll quickly just try to reconnect.
Sure enough. So let me just go through some quick introductions for you guys here. A lot of you guys don't know Newbee Youth. I've only cast them 2 or 3 times myself. So MK is running on your Skywrath made support. 456 actually on the Lifestealer for the tri-lane carry this time instead of on an Initiator. He still is on a Strength hero. Kind of his signature thing is being tanky on the front line. But MRRR is Murr. He's going to be the support Venge. There's going to be Top Rune, your mid lane sniper, SCCC. Then you've got down for the safe lane solo, it looks like Piao is going to be running that Brewmaster. So he gets fissured, but not on the right side. He's going to be able to duel it out with Fenrir, should still pick up the Bounty Rune, and of course get some good return damage. So Hao's making his move. He wants to get a little bit of damage here onto Piao, but all in all, it looks like it might be like an aggro dual lane because they can do perfectly fine with the Weaver down bottom. So yeah, Zeus safe lane solo. Ice, ice, ice with his boots, and he'll just kind of arc lightning under the tower and hope TPs come when he gets dove.
Yeah, I wonder if they're planning on being aggressive with the Prophet, and that's why Fenrir's down bottom, and he's going to be in between mid and bot probably, setting up ganks with the Prophet.
Yeah. Observer wards are really important here from the side of the Radiant. They are not only blocking off camps, but they are getting good vision for any time that the Nature Prophet walks past these lines here. So this is kind of the important thing is right now FY visibly only has the 2 camps to work with. If it's actually wow, Ice very far forward, is already taking a lot of damage. The last hit comes through and Venge gets the kill. That's just open wounds and magic missile killing off Zeus. So I mean, not much more to say about that. He just stepped too far onto the creep wave. But yeah, essentially, like, he can't even get support in that situation because the Nature Prophet can't walk past these 2 eastern camps, and obviously there's not going to be TP rotation from supports this early on. But the Skywrath, in response to the Weaver's movement down bottom, has actually made his rotation, and at least for now, the Weaver doesn't have a magic stick, so this is going to be a lot of spam coming from Skywrath that will really hurt the Weaver in terms of stability on the lane.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to go for a kill on this guy here, though, when he's trying to zone. Maybe just a fissure into a TP. Maybe they'll wait for a Sprout.
Yep. So, I mean, the Nature Prophet definitely has some real ganking potential, but they're going to have eyes on him for quite some time. Luckily, he's one of the better junglers to deal with Mud Golems, so that spawn isn't much of an issue. And Zeus actually found one of the 2 wards. He knows the camp's blocked, so he lightnings it down, and with one more bolt, that's going to be 50 gold in Ice pocket, as well as one of the 2 wards kind of suppressing that Furion taken down. But now Super in the mid lane eating the magic missile. He was eating a lot of shrapnel before, and he's looking to turn it, and he will actually go down, almost killing off the Vengeful Spirit in the process. Oh, FY gets 1, looking for 2. 2 right clicks needed, and there they go. FY with a double kill, set up by Super, and suddenly this Nature Prophet, that looked to have a very slow start, is level 4. He's got his boots coming out. Yes, it does cost him the Storm Spirit, but I feel it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I feel like they should have been prepared for that Nature's Prophet coming in to counter gank, because they just played it, and it seems like they know how it works, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, the Venge dropped the aggro from the tower really nicely so that she'd live with 1 tower hit from death, but that's just setting it up for the Furion to have a heyday with you. Down bottom, Fisher comes through onto 2. Hao still taking a lot of damage, though. Do you think he's going to have to, like, ferry more regen, or does he go for something else to build his HP back up on the lane?
I think he'll probably go for a bottle as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's going to be able to wait for that. He might bring out like a salve or more tangos. I feel like him going for a bottle and then just tanking up a little bit, maybe going for treads would be ideal. Still no stick on the shaker. I guess he's just gonna go for boots.
Yep, but they're diving right now with the FY coming in. He's got they got the Fisher. They don't even need the Sprout. Hal's going to take some damage here, but now that the Brewmaster's sprouted in, he's going to take some hits too. Just 1 point in the Brawler as well as the Stout Shield. He'll definitely survive those right clicks for now, but another rotation like that could be very problematic. In the meantime, Sniper is just kind of farming under his tower, nearly topping out last hits here, 17 and 8 against Super. And a big thing I want to point out is that he's got 2 points in headshot here. A lot of people talk about the value point as far as putting 1 point in a skill. I feel that headshot has 2 different value points. 1 point in it just to get the debuff on 40% of your auto attacks, but the second point really bumps up the damage of headshot from 15 to 45, a huge increase. So he goes for the double value point, and that means he doesn't have any take aim to kind of farm outside of this little kind of tiny little box right here. Like, he is going to be kind of staying in this smaller region, usually on the top of the steps, and it's going to be hard for him to get to the creep wave when it's all the way pulled back.
Yeah, the one nice thing about it is that because he already got an early kill on Super and has level advantage, he can push like keep the pressure on him. He knows he'll never be able to man fight him if he has 2 points in headshot.
Yeah, and even oh wow, okay, just assassinating Fenrir here, just throwing him off a little bit, but yeah, just essentially he went for the double Wraithband build to kind of brawl actively. The problem is the Nature's Prophet is going to be taking the fight to him as well. Nature's Prophet will soon be level 6, adding in the Furion ultimate as well as a TP. And it doesn't matter if you build perfectly to fight 1v1, you're going to be having a second hero jump into your lane and cause you some real difficulty. That's why Super, I believe, went for this 1-1-3 build as opposed to the more farm-oriented 2-0-2.
Yeah, I'm looking for Newbee to have a support sitting behind the Sniper as soon as the Storm hits 6. So I feel like they want to gank him with the Fisher into Storm Zip and Prophet TP. If they're ready for it, they could get big counter kills.
Yeah, good potential there. I mean, Skywrath is there right now with his 1-1-1, but of course that's also in response to the fact that we've got Fenrir missing off the map. They just want to respond to the Surfshaker as best they can, but yeah, Storm hitting 6 in just 200 experience, and the Nature Prophet, he's pretty much already there. One more camp, and yeah, he's going to look to start making his movements, and yeah, they see it. With the Observer Ward, this is a level 6 Furion, and we'll see if he makes his rotation soon. A Tower Dive would be nice, but vision is lacking for the side of the Dire. Just how kind of hiding on behind the tree line, now scouted out. They're going to have to make their move quickly. They're going to go on Skywrath. So there's going to be the dive deep, and they will get the kills onto the Skywrath first, but now the Fisher locking down the Sniper. As many shrapnels as he'll throw out, he's still taking too much damage. How? With the Gemini, he will get the kill, but die underneath the tower. Now Svenge bringing down Super. He has no mana left, so double kill for the Brewmaster in the end. And honestly, it's great to kill the Sniper off, and they killed off the Sky very early that fight, but what they lost in return really wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly what I was talking about. Just getting those big counter kills, because you pretty much know that that's what they're going to want to do. They know Sniper's pretty much free farming, and they're going to want to stop it. I wasn't expecting Hao to come all the way from bot lane and sit behind the tower, which is actually really nice. He saw the Skywrath early on, but
and
still wasn't worth it.
And Zeus goes down again. Just again, the magic missile, the open wounds, the death of a hero that really just can't act defensively and reactively. Like, essentially this hero has 345 movement speed with the boots of speed, but you close that distance, you pretty much get a kill because he has no way to disengage. So that's why you generally only see offlane Zeus like hiding under the tower, throwing out arc lightnings and hoping the creep wave heads over his direction. But in this case, Ice, he tries to get a little bit active in the lane, and this means 2 deaths for him. How will pop his time lapse? Not really much HP coming back his way, but he's got the bottle, and he does exhaust most of Lifestealer's mana pool.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Zeus, he actually TP'd, or tried to TP out there, so he's like, has to walk back to the lane. Now they're actually throwing him to the off lane.
Okay. So this Zeus really hasn't come online the way he's wanted to. He's got the Soul Ring, the Basilius, so he has plenty of mana to work with to a degree, but as far as like building himself up to actually be a player this game, What do you think? Is he just gonna like have to build up a blink or a force immediately to survive the ganks, or?
Yeah, or maybe he tries to go for Yules. I think a force would probably be his best bet, though.
Yeah. Ooh, hasted Fenrir getting a nice Fisher. That would be great money for the Zeus. He pops the Soul Ring, but now it's actually Piao that's going to be catching him off guard. This could be an easy pick. One right click and your clap, and that is going to be the Bruce split coming out. So Ice going to be hit by the boulder. Couple right clicks, and he goes down, and they even want more. They wind walk to try to catch the Earthshaker, but that haste rune. It's going to be dispelled under tower, but that's still a pretty survivable position. Like, the boulder toss comes out way late, and they won't follow it up. So they just get one for their trouble. I guess that's okay for the Bruce split. Usually Bruce split at least gets one kill, sometimes two. In that case, Vici minimize their losses.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine for him. He secures his blink with those kills. There's no pressure on him now for a little while, and he's got a kill, so he gets some gold from it too. So he's pretty much got his blink dagger.
Now, how in 4, 5, 6 dueling it out here with their ultimates, Infest healing up as well as the time lapse. Zeus ulti comes out a moment too late to actually bring down the Nyx before he can pop the Infest. So he's okay, but actually let's talk about this Weaver versus Lifestealer matchup, because it's something that we used to see a lot, and then when these heroes kind of fell out of the metagame, we don't see it at all anymore. But the Gemini attack is actually really good against Lifestealer, a low armor strength hero that relies on his ability to survive against magic damage. But Weaver, he's able to kind of single target focus him down twofold.
Yeah, and late game especially, it's a nightmare for Lifestealer to fight against him. You lose all of your armor from the swarm, and then you can barely get hits on him as well. No,
but they're going to combo against him right now. No spells to cast. Magic Wand not even used, as he would go down no matter the case. Really good rotation from Skywrath, and finds another key kill. 7-5 is your kill lead advantage, but they're going to even it up a little bit as Super dives on mid. He will go down under the tower, but not without killing the sniper first. Fenrir doesn't have any spells left, and FY is committed too. They're actually going to just lose everything. Oh my gosh, Vici Gaming. Lose 3 on the mid lane just for your sniper. Oh man, they're committed so hard, and like you said, that Newbee just read them very clearly. This is their game plan, is to dive the sniper, and as long as they bring enough heroes to respond, especially that blinking in Brewmaster, like, Vici they make terrible trades, and the end result is now a huge kill swing in favor of Newbee.Y. Now, it is going to be the death of the Vengeful Spirit in the backline. Zeus actually able to secure that, but I don't know. That right now you can clearly see it in terms of like hero levels. We've got Newbee Youth with 2 level 9s, and obviously the sniper at level 8. They're looking really good as far as how they're trading these kills.
Yeah, the teamfight potential of Newbee is so much stronger at this point in the game with the Brew. Even though the Lifestealer and this guy, they're very high impact at this point in the game. Whereas heroes like Nature's Prophet, it's nice, but it's not gonna quite win you a team fight as easily, and the Shaker as well. It's kind of like one button heroes, just like the Prophet Ultimate and a Fissure.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like they should actually stop this aggression, stop trying to dive so hard on the sniper, because it's obviously not working? They're stealing stacks, which is actually really cost efficient and low risk, but diving into the tier 1 seems like a death sentence for Vici Gaming. They keep on wanting to do it, and it's clearly the reason why, but it still just hasn't worked out for them so far. Do they just wait so that they have all the ultimates available, have both Thunder God's Wrath and the Wrath of Nature, or do they just try to keep doing it and hope that Newbee don't respond quickly enough?
I feel like they could just get away with farming pretty aggressively, but not overcommitting to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could maybe just bait TPs onto the sniper's lane and then just get out. Because they have good escapability, they're overcommitting a little too hard.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the silence from Skywrath might be able to guarantee 1 kill on like the Storm or the Weaver, but everybody else should be able to get out scot-free. Anybody who's not suppressed in that regard. We do see the Nether swap coming out now for the Vengeful Spirit. Level 7, so she's got her maxed missile. She's looking for Earnest Shadows, and bot is actually going to be an exchange here. Bruce Split coming out, but Ice getting a bottle charge from Super, and he keeps them topped off. So now they're going to look to turn around. Piao comes out, but he does get the blink out in time. So close call, but it is just going to be Bruce Split wasted. Vici weathered the storm, and Now they're going to look to bring the pain up against Newbee.Y. Venge still has that DD rune though. Piao blink again. A double clap onto Ice. He's dropping quickly. But first to fall is actually the Skywrath. Now Venge going down on the back line. No aura to send the other way. And Brewmaster completely caught out of position. The swarm ticking and him going down. FY will fall to the sniper, thanks to his long-range nukes, the shrapnel and the assassinate. But nevertheless, Vici actually take a fight forward, and they did have their 2 global ultimates for that one. So some great global damage, bringing everybody low very quickly, and a good focus fire on this guy, I think.
Yeah, that was really well played by Vici. They baited out took a fight right after the split, after dodging it pretty much.
Yep, and then Sniper just kind of finished off there. He was hiding under his tower, and sometimes you're just not able to sit in the sniper's nest for that long. And in this case, it is going to be him going down. This is actually his 4th death this game, and if you just look at KDA, for the most part, Newbee has made it worth it. Every time he goes down, they get heavy exchanges, but for him specifically, he's hurt. Now a nice rage on the lightning bolt. 456 goes in on Ice, and yeah, he's going to be working towards perhaps that Yule. He has another Sage's Mask after all, but it's just, right now he's under such heavy fire. Now going to be the swap back onto FY, into the clap, not even needing the blink initiation to bring down the Furion. It just seems like there's so many kills coming out the way of Newbee.Y, and they don't need to be happening, but Vici are just handing them to him.
Here's another one.
On the mid lane, how no survivability items on him just yet. Actually, like, really, if you look at his stat items, especially when he's on Agi treads, like, he just doesn't have any real durability, and it's very easy for him to die just in the Mystic Flare, which they didn't even need that time. Now we see the Assassinate, Fenrir going down for sure, and it's going to be the last hit going to the Sniper. Earthshaker still tries to Echo Slam it, but 456, nothing to infest to, no creeps nearby either. It's going to be the Brewmaster solo against Ice. So they're just going to have to back it off. Actually, the Lifestealer does go down. Wrath of Nature plus Thunder God's Wrath. And they make that 7th sin work out pretty favorably for them. But Tier 1 tower going to be peeped down. Sniper actually gets sprouted in, but they're going to take down FY very quickly. Oh my gosh, Vici, they're scrambling for kills here. That looks like they will be able to get some vengeance here with these last hits coming out for MK, but maybe not. Oh, there's a lost Arc Lightning, but still they've already lost the Storm. You have got to clean this up hard. The right clicks connect. Now looking for the Geminate onto MR. Double kill for Ice. A single for Weaver. Very important return kills, but even still, it just feels like they've just fed so much away to Newbee this time.
Yeah, I feel like they're getting some return kills here, but I feel like it's on the wrong heroes. I feel like they need this to be on Storm mostly. He needs to be snowballing out of control here.
Yeah, or at least making up for the losses that he encumbered in the previous laning phase. Because I mean, if you look at it, like every single time that he committed to a fight up against the Sniper, he died, and now it's him getting 10 assists, but only the 1 kill in response to those 4 deaths. So yeah, it's pretty tough for Super. He plays an amazing Storm Spirit, but this game, it just feels like Newbee are baiting him into so many different situations. And that's in part based on vision. If you look at the map right now, we've got Radiant Observers once again covering FY's jungle, knowing when he's going to make a move. But, like, they actually are going to just go for a flank here onto Sniper. TP as well to secure this kill. And they will take a Tier 1 tower. So they're starting to get control of the map back, but it almost seems like Newbee want to fight this anyways without the Sniper. They just lost a third of their HP to the ultimates, and they're still looking to go. Oh, big clap going on to Fenrir. He'll go down with that Mystic Flare. And now Hao's diving into 2 supports. 1 Magic Missile means his death, and no Geminate will come out in time. So no detection is really hurting Newbee right now, and it looks like Hao will just kind of put the hurt on him, get a couple more right clicks out, but can he actually go on this? I don't know. Magic Missile connects, there's the clap, taking a lot of damage, and now going for the Shikuchi away, but without detection, he just gets to play around them, keep them in the fight, and now it looks like they're going to lose everything here. Essentially, oh, actually popping the split too. Can they get anything? It looks like Super has low enough mana, they will be able to bring him down, but FY on the run, sprouting Shadowblade. Shadowblade should be enough, because they still don't have detection. So detection really hurt the side of Newbee there. How is able to kind of play around and say, okay, if you don't throw spells at me, then I'm just going to right-click you down and you're going to die. And if you do, then I'm just going to Shikuchi away, no problem. Now going on to SC, the Wrath of Nature helping out Thunder God's Wrath in 8 seconds here, but having to time-lapse away quickly. He still gets hit by that Assassinate. So trying to drop everybody low for the Thunder God's Wrath. No! He dives for it!
Oh my god.
Zeus was just about to get his ulti. That was a miscommunication. He did not need to dive for that kill when it could have just gone from the Zeus anyways. But I don't know, man. Sentry's at least now on MK. What do you make of this game?
Utter chaos, pretty much. Of course, there's plenty of calculation going here, but it's really just back and forth. Whoever feels like they can outplay the other person.
And a lot of underestimation, I would say. Like, a lot of times they go into a situation not really fully considering the potential repercussions, and they're just like, yeah, this'll play out the way I want it to. And a lot of times it's just one spell changes it, and they don't see a single hero. They dive into 2 and they don't expect the 3rd. I don't know. This is just, it's really aggressive stance from both sides, and neither one seems to be kind of giving it pause for concern. This is not your classic Chinese Dota. Now the long range silence on the Storm Spirit. No items to dispel that, and as a result he will go down without really any ultimates committed. Now in mid lane, tier 1 being pushed. FY doing some work with this Shadow Blade right click damage, and obviously they're just trying to kind of control the map, trying to make sure that Sniper and Lifestealer don't have safe places to farm, and this is the best way they can do it for now. Just taking down tier 1 tower by tier 1 tower. They've got a bottom rune ward, but a very defensive one.
Yeah, this game it feels like Vici's, after their rough laning phase, it feels like they're relying on their individual skill to kind of bring them through the mid game and get them back into the game. You can tell Hal's playing extremely aggressively, pushing his limits really hard.
So, going to go for the Rosh here. Double damage picked up from Hal. He's got 3 points in Geminate, so that should be going down fairly quickly. It actually times up nicely with each auto attack. And, of course, the Ring of Aquila giving armor to the Treants. So, they're actually going to be able to take care of this pretty easily. And, actually, stalk prey on the high ground here. So, this could be really good. Got the Aegis on the Weaver. And now, nice shrapnel, actually, going in with the Rage. 4, 5, 6, right on top of Fenrir. He's going down for sure. And now they've just got to disengage gracefully. FY just Shadow Blading away, no dust on the Brewmaster. So it looks like everybody else is going to be able to get out. Ice TP on cooldown for a dozen seconds. So he's going to try to wait it out. And wow, he's actually going back on the offensive. This is very gutsy. They're going to TP right onto the Vengeful Spirit, having 3 versus 1. They're going to be able to bring him down for sure, but BKB comes out on the Sniper, and they're looking to just fight. Ice, you can't right-click down a Sniper. He's going to try to TP away. Oh, the last right-click is going to kill him. Super coming in, not even doing any magic damage, but still tipping the scales with that last hit. Now the Weaver, Aegis, bringing him back online. He will be under a Sentry Ward, though, so this Tornado actually could cause him some issues. Still hasted movement speed against slows. There's no hard stun to lock him down. It should be him still able to escape. In fact, he's still fighting it. Oh, don't misread the situation, how it's still dangerous scenario for him to be in, but he uses mana efficiently before time-lapsing back to full, and he should be able to Shikuchi away thereafter. So
a bit of a miscommunication there. The Lifestealer chased down the Storm because he noticed he had very low mana. And the Bruce stayed around for the Weaver, which is a really unlikely kill. And the Storm just TP'd out when he...
Oh, it's going to be an Electric Vortex on to 456. He just got the kill on the Earthshaker, but now it's going to be an Infest forced out on this Dire Creep. But they don't want to follow this all the way to the Tier 3 tower. This Lifestealer can play a waiting game until it hits the Tier 2s, actually. And obviously he's got his supports to help him out now. So, yeah. I mean, with the Aegis, just sum it up for me. Who do you think came out on top? Considering the Aegis did go down on the Weaver.
I felt like if they managed to get that Storm kill, which was pretty likely, if they didn't go for the Weaver after the Aegis, it would have been a better fight for them. But since the Storm got away, he's pretty much got his Bloodstone now. And I think that's a huge deal for this game.
Bloodstone going to be helping out a lot in terms of health pools for him. This is going to be extra durability and mana regen, but for his team, if he does end up going down, it is going to be just everybody healed up a very large amount. Sniper being stalked by Weaver. This BKB means very little against the Weaver's right clicks, and It's actually going to be Linkage Sphere build on the Weaver too. Is that just to deal with the silence opener from the Skywrath Mage, mostly?
Yeah, that and Venge Missile is good at setting up things as well, but it's mainly the Skywrath.
Sorry, camera broke a little bit there, but it's going to be Brewmaster popping the split at the very last second. Super, very low on mana, so they just Tornado the Zeus and they want to focus down the Storm. But now actually they turn their attention to Ice, who just voluntarily goes in the Tornado once more. But he will go down to the Mystic Flare, looking to pursue one more Tornado onto the Storm Spirit. But can they actually do anything with it? Piao playing with fire here. One Remnant and he's dead. And it's extra Wrath of Nature to bring him down. Oh, what a mistake. Now Super does get silenced though, and they will be able to headshot him down. So good kills there. Fenrir doesn't even go for the Fisher to finish off the Skywrath. And he dies to the Infest at the last moment. Oh, buddy. That broke down very quickly. Weaver actually dying in the mid lane earlier. Zeus down there towards the bottom. But, man, MK will go down at least to FY as he teleports behind enemy lines and finds a easy snipe. So they do bring down the Skywrath in the end, but they just are losing so many lives for it.
Yeah, I feel like Super could have got out there. He saw he had some blood in his eyes. I don't know. He wanted the Skywrath really bad, but he used 2 zips pretty much to get 1 right click on the Skywrath. I think it could have just been just to save his life.
Yeah, I mean,
his bloodstone.
In that sense, like, once the Skywrath is down, you have nothing to worry about, essentially, because there's no silence, there's no control. As long as you have, like, a couple hundred mana, you can get away from the slowing effects the Newbee are bringing. So I almost feel it's worth it to just gun down the Skywrath at all costs, but in that case, he was fast enough to drag the fight out for far enough that Newbee could just kind of follow up with everything. That's it seems to be the first scouting ultimate of the game. Usually you see scouting ultimate like at least half the time because it's just kind of a situation where there's no fighting going on. But this game, it's been non-stop action. I mean, we have more than 2 kills a minute coming in from these 2 Chinese teams, and it's been utter chaos, as you mentioned.
Yeah, if there was a little more farm on the Storm, I could see a lot more scouting ults for him to have more aggressive potential, but he's more focused on farming right now.
So, we're going to be seeing the Force Staff come out for the Skywrath pretty soon here. More mobility for the side of Newbee, as well as disengage potential for the Sky if the Storm ever jumps on him. But, of course, you try to Electro Vortex on the Force Staff to pull him back, kind of cancel that out. Super's been known to do that quite frequently, but we'll see. Right now, Bloodstone's up. This is the momentum time. I feel like here, 25.5 minutes, this is where Vici are able to really pull forward and start snowballing their game, or they're going to be feeding a lot to these carries, and Lifestealer and Sniper are going to be able to do too much. So this is kind of a critical point in the game, I feel, and we're going to see the initiative taken by Newbee. They have the smoke, they have the blink, they're looking for kills, and they're going to go a choke point against the Earthshaker. Not great. They're going to be split up with the Fisher a little bit here, and 456 is completely caught out. MK as well. There's a Sprout along with the Fisher, 1 TP away, and they're going to cancel it too. So they're going in. They're just obliterating this Lifestealer while, oh, he gets swapped out to the river. Very nicely done by Murr. No rage means that would have been really bad for him. But Hao's going to go on the back line, actually probably bring down MK with the Swarm and Geminate. And yeah, this is going to be them cleaning it up now. There's no offensive potential for Newbee unless they pop everything. BKB and Rage going on Ice. They'll get 1 more. But FY on the backside recognizes some weakness, thinks he can find a kill. Has to be, oh, nice ward actually to scout things out for this situation. He sees the Sniper all by himself. There's no other sources of damage that the Zeus can't come online. So this is like literally him trying to 1v1 him. He's waiting for the Storm to jump, but that's a long way away with his current mana pool.
Yeah, that was a really that's a really hard position to smoke into. Going into the Ancients from that little area, usually it doesn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't even have the ward at the time. I'm looking at the wards, they saw maybe that they were in that general area, but they didn't have specific details, and that could have gone even worse for Newbee. But the one really thing that salvaged the situation was the Venge swap back. He was able to, since he was level 11 at the time, swap the Lifestealer all the way from a pin down position with the Fisher right here, and no Rage on cooldown, all the way back to here, and he was able to survive. So that was really critical. If they weren't able to do that, then there's no re-engage for Newbee. But because they had the BKB on the Sniper, I think that's his 3rd charge usage. Yeah, he's down to 7 now. So yeah, the third BKB charge from the sniper was used. The rage came back online, and they were able to actually get back into it, bring down the Zeus. So, yeah, top lane we're going to be seeing a Stalking Prey once again. They can get the Sprout, but there is, oh no, Quelling Blade on the lifesteal. He'll just try to rage TP, presumably. Orchid on the Furion instead of the Storm Spirit. Obviously, it's a good counter to the lifestealer, but how do you feel about it this game?
I like the Orchid. It's pretty good at dealing with these supports. And the Brew plays a BKB.
They scout things out, but a moment too late. Now they walk into a big fight, and actually the Venge is still alive. The Lifestealer just goes right on top of it. Super down bottom will bring down the Skywrath Mage, his nemesis in this game, but it's still going to be a 2-for-2 with Super on the defensive. So they lose their supports. They lose the Zeus, the Earthshaker, and they take down the Venge and Skywrath. So it seems pretty even. I mean, technically, Ice is a off-lane Zeus, so slightly higher farm priority, but not by much. 4-5-6 now caught in the Orchid, and getting nuked down hard. He gets the Infest at the last moment, but it doesn't give him any health. How now on the run, Assassinate. He has Magic Wand, but he'll just time-lapse, so... Oh, and Lincoln Sphere, too, for that matter. He's actually perfectly fine more ways than one. And that's actually going to be the finisher, so... like, are you with me on this? Do you rate the Zeus pretty much at the support level of a kill, or do you think he's more valuable than that?
Pretty much in full agreement there. That I don't even think we've talked about how farmed FY is yet, but he's at the top of Dire's leaderboard.
Like that, this is yeah. The lanes broke down as a safe lane solo Zeus, which is considered your 3 position, but FY's turning into a 1 very quickly here as it goes for the Orchid. The right clicks. Piao dodging so much though. That evasion really working for him. It is 25% dodge chance, but Super tests his luck. He's actually diving in, and he's probably gonna have to suicide here. He dove so deep, and there it goes. Allied Hero Denial. Some hats get wrung out, but man. He was essentially just trying to bait a situation where Hal could walk in and use the double damage rune to just kind of one-shot the Brewmaster. But the end result is actually now, oh, the Lifestealer going down as they just jump in with 3. That was actually a really nice jump from Fenrir and Ice. They actually kill him off and now go for the tier 2 tower. So kind of abrupt, but the Lifestealer stuck around, thought that they were in the advantage, but they did not see those two coming.
Yeah, the Storm's playing a bit overly aggressive pretty much all game, but the rest of his team is making up for it. Usually getting return kills, but I feel like he doesn't have to be dying. There is a Skywrath, but I feel like a lot of his deaths are avoidable. That's the only answer they have to him right now.
So backline
right here.
Yeah, Venge kind of just using the Invis rune very efficiently, trying to get that intel so they can make the play. But it's actually going to be an aggressive jump right here onto the Brewmaster. They go, comboed up, great Orchid with the Wrath of Nature, and the Brewmaster doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't have a BKB yet, so he's gone. And that's the last few seconds of Observer Ward, so they make the use of it. And now they're pinging it out. This is the funny thing. Now that you make that play that just shows that you have that Observer Ward, they're like, okay, we have to D-ward there. And immediately the Sentry Wards come out. But they're going to find nothing, as that literally just expired.
Yeah, it's always really unfortunate. And then you're actually just so confused.
Yeah, you're like, how did they stop me? I don't get it.
You're not sure if it just ran out or you're missing something there. Maybe it's like behind the tower. Actually, they saw you that way. Yeah, it's really rough.
So, a little confused, but in the end, we do see the Manta coming out. It looks like for. All right, so he'll probably go straight. Scotty, what do you think in this game? Orchid isn't really going to be used on the sniper, so I don't even know if it's worth talking about how that dispels it. Do you feel like you just go for the Scotty for the extra stats, or is Manta still the item?
Manta seems... I don't know how much it would do against this team. Like, there's a Shaker, it makes it a little worse against that. It's pretty much just the Orchid, and there's gonna be 2 in the game, so I could see like the Storm and stuff jumping him, but he already has a BKB. I don't know if it's worth it. I would say the Scotty's a little stronger, for sure.
Alright, so we're going to see the Storm Spirit pick up the Aegis Immortal, allows them to kind of keep playing the style that Super likes to. Very clearly, he has said, I'm going to be diving towers, I'm going to be setting up kills for my team, and although it doesn't really allow him to snowball, his teammates do get a lot of value out of it, and it's accumulated 5 kills and 12 assists for Super himself. So, nice Aegis pickup will allow him to keep playing like that. It looks like he's going to go for a second Orchid. And even Ice 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 has an Oblivion staff. Like, what are we looking at here, man?
I feel like the Zeus one has got to be for the refresher.
Okay. So 2 Orchids, try to kind of force the Lifestealer to go for a BKB. And then the last one here for the Zeus, he's going to kind of use his ultimate in base and just refresh it. I mean, I don't feel like he has the mana, even with double Soul Ring, to really use that out in the field.
I think it'd be just enough. It'd be pretty close. But
Yeah, but then he doesn't get to spam all his other spells, which is annoying.
Yeah.
There were 2 engagements happening. I caught the one that ended up netting nothing, a Yule's and a TP away, whereas here we've got the Skywrath Mage getting jumped on. So just a quick jump, nice usage of Storm Spirit's mana pool, but really nothing surprising.
yeah, something worth noting this game is that finally Hao is really coming online. He's actually going to be a huge problem to deal with now, as that he has his damage output, and he's close to his next item as well.
Yeah, and you look, we were talking about the Sentry Wards for the Venge. He's like placed 2 out here right near the cliff. He's like, there's got to be something here. They've got like they had one up here as well, so they had like 3 Sentry Wards covering this triangle. We do see the Lifestealer engaging hard onto the Zeus. Self-Yules, keeps him up for a bit, but he doesn't even throw out the ultimate casually. He just goes down, while FY, Space Created, takes the tier 2. So suddenly, you were talking about it as he was jumping up the charts, but now he's topping them out. FY has found some opportunity to start as a jungle Nature's Prophet, rather inefficient in his progression, but after getting a double kill in the mid lane, builds up an early hand of Midas, finds tons of kills, finds quite a few towers, and suddenly, FY is topping the net worth at 17,000. Like, this man is living in luxury. He just got a BKB. What do you go for next? Damage, I assume.
Yeah, or maybe even just like a Necrobook for slow pushing, but I think it's going to be a Hex or Daedalus or something. MKB maybe for the Brewmaster.
Alright. Yeah, MKB actually would be really good. I know I was thinking about this early in the game, didn't talk about it much. How getting bashed. Oh, that's annoying. But yeah, How's definitely going to look for an MKB this game. It's really good on Weaver and really important against the Brewmaster. But I didn't even think about the Nature's Prophet benefiting from it so heavily. Just because he's now actually in right-click mode. So, yeah, we'll see if that's maybe an item he'll look to pick up. Definitely kind of forced out from the Brewmaster's Brawler, as well as potentially the Haze if your BKB is on cooldown. But FY, in the meantime, he's just saying, okay, well, you guys are trying to deal with the Weaver up top. You can fight how all you want. I'm going to get some Treants on to the tower and actually do some good damage here. And high ground defense is important for newbies, so any chip damage dealt at this stage in the game could come back to haunt them later.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking he might opt for a Necro 3 on the Prophet, just to get this kind of chip damage all over. The Weaver pushing one lane, the Storm in the other, and the Prophet pushing the last one. I don't know if you noticed or saw it in the mid lane, the Brewmaster 10-second BKB was recently baited by the Storm. He just kind of zipped on him and he had to BKB. He doesn't have any other choice. Then he just zipped away, so this is 10-second down.
Alright, so Ice's Refresher will be coming out pretty soon here. It's maybe 1,500 gold to farm up, and he will have that double ultimate. But yeah, I mean, he's still going to be just focusing on that global damage. It's going to hit most of these heroes. Like, Rage isn't going to last all that long, and the BKB of the Sniper, SCC, is down to 7 seconds now. So, in that sense, it's a very good chance that at least one of those ultimates will hit on everyone. And, I mean, that's going to be damage. They're scouting for now. But I guess they just try to go for finisher with the Super Storm Spirit, just kind of jumping around, finishing things off. Obviously, the Nature's Prophet is great for cleaning up fights. And then they just look to push off of that. If, however, Newbee just kind of turtle up in their base after that Refresher comes out, how do Vici Gaming approach the fight? Do they just say, fine, we'll just farm the map and take over the jungle? Or is there actually a position they can clash other than slow siege?
They can split up fairly well, and it's kind of hard for them to get picked off if more than 2 or 3 newbie heroes aren't there. So they could keep that up, or they could just farm. They have a lot of items they can still get on the Weaver and the Storm, and even an Ags on Zeus would be huge. A double Ags ult with Prophet ulti on top will pretty much kill the Skywrath outright, and maybe even the Venge. Not that then she's got a cloak actually, but the Skyrath has to be really careful with that.
Certainly does. I mean, he just built so much into his intelligence. He actually is pretty lacking on HP. So that's I mean, I think we're coming to this point where we're going to see some turtle Dota from Newbee.Y. I think they can just go kind of hold on their high ground with the sniper and try to drag this game out. But Vici Gaming, they want to try to thwart that. They have a lot of good items to gank out in the open field right now, and I actually think that that's probably what all they need to do is just finish FY's next item. Finish that MKB, maybe buyback as well, and then they can start looking for big engages. Roche will be respawning in 2 to 5 minutes as well. So overall, I think that Vici are in a position where they want to start actually going for those kills. Geometry side actually on the Brewmaster, if they only had the Skyrath in range, but they do not. So it's just going to be Shikuchi-Way, and Sniper picks up that Scotty we were talking about. So yeah, this is full high ground defense mode, I think, for Newbee if Vici start taking the fight to them. But for now, they're farming. They're not actually fighting until that Refresh Orb's online, and ISSI still has a few creep camps to go for that one.
Fenrir in the bottom lane's being really patient there. He's got his lane ward, and he's just waiting for someone to push up a little too far. Looking for an easy pick. Yeah. He's been there for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, it seems worth it, honestly, because he's not going to be farming in the meantime. And one pickup, one Echo Slam, which could actually be baited out by FY here. But anyways, one single good Echo Slam, even for a solo hero, would enable them to take out like half the tier 3's tower through chip damage. Like it would generate a lot of push potential. But actually, oh, that shrapnel, that is terrifying. The shrapnel comes out onto the creep wave. It had the potential to catch out that Earthshaker, but it's actually the Brew that goes down. The Lifestealer engages along with the Brewmaster to bring down the Fury, and FY, a huge kill at this stage in the game, and actually going to be the Weaver now bringing down the Vengeful Spirit. Popping the Shikuchi away, Link is forced out, and he needs the time lapse to try to get away from this. He won't be silenced out, so he'll be fine. In the meantime, it's going to be the Sniper dueling against the Storm Spirit. BKB comes out for the Sniper, though, so it looks like he will survive, unless Weaver has other plans. How going in, diving deep here, might be a huge mistake. How going down in Echoes. Fenrir doing some damage, but he has exhausted all his spells, super his mana, and a Suicide comes through once again. Ice puts on the finisher here. He did get a couple good ultis in that fight, but the BKBs were active for a very long time on most of these heroes, and even, like, look at the Lifestealer, he's, like, full HP. Like, the Zeus does a lot of damage there, 2,700, almost 2,800 damage with his double ulti, but in the end, they aren't actually able to take a favorable exchange. The Weaver goes in, greedy, hungry for that sniper kill, and they get it, but at what cost?
Yeah, it still feels like Vici's really trying to outplay Newbee.Y, just based on individual skill. They've been playing to the limit all game. They've been punished for it pretty hard, so I don't know if it's a little like lack of respect for them, or if it's just they're just really confident, I guess. Yeah,
and a big aspect of that was how the fight began. FY got picked off. He's a level 20 hero, and getting picked off puts him in the grave for a very long time. I can't remember the new formula, but it's close to 80 seconds. It's a long time to be without your Nature's Prophet. So yeah, in this position, I feel like you don't follow through on that. You let it be an unfortunate pickoff, and you regroup, so you can actually have 5 people ready to go for your Roche fight. But instead, this net worth advantage is now being depleted because of how much they kept on throwing at that. And along with that, you've got 90 seconds on your Refresher Orb for the Zeus. So if this rush spawn time was anything shorter than what it is, that'd be a huge problem. But luckily for them, we've got another minute or so before Roche comes up, and Newbee won't look to break that down immediately.
Yeah, and with that fight, the Lifestealer catches up to the Prophet, and he finally gets his Abyssal Blade. So now they have like the Blank Brew Abyssal Blade combo that they've been looking for a long time. They've just been lacking this initiation to be proactive on the map. Oh,
they might get super here with it. Popping the Infest. There's your Abyssal. Oh, Storm Spirit getting chunked on. That is actually huge. Double damage rune. I feel it's kind of something you don't just leave behind, but it looks like, yeah, MK just picks it up. No bottle play, no nothing, just regroup and push down mid, immediately go to Roshan pit afterwards. They know that with the recent suicide from the Storm Spirit, it's very unlikely he'll be able to buy back, just losing so much gold very quickly, that they actually have full control of the map right now. Vici would have a really hard time going 4v5, so of course they go for split push instead. The trees come through, and it's going to be tier 3 pressure while Newbee are hunting for the Zeus. But they take the tier 2, and where do they go from here? It looks like back to base. Lifesteal the only one sticking around, at least for the moment.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They get a bit more chip damage done there, so that's good for them. They force everyone back while the storm's dead.
Damn. I kind of felt like, you know, a few people could have gone for the Roche pit at that point in time, but now we're seeing actually 2-man movement from Vici, and this is their pit to take. I mean, Newbee could look to go, but like Skywrath doesn't even have mana for his ultimate because it costs so much at level 3. And right now they're just kind of moving around their jungle. Actually, it's not going to be FY and Fenrir taking it down because they saw with their Die Observer ward on the bottom lane that people were moving in towards the jungle, and although that doesn't, as we can see, that doesn't mean they're in the pit, it very well could have, and I think FY makes the right move to call the retreat.
Yeah, they're gonna try to force Newbee back once again and then go for it again, probably the Roshan.
Oh, the Thunder God's Wrath scouts it out here. The Wrath of Nature was just exhausted, though, so I'm not sure if that damage came in. In either case, this Roche falling very, very quickly. Aegis and Cheese on the deck. This should be contested. Fenrir, is he looking for it? The blink? No, it's a snatch from Super. He's the one to jump into the pit. He gets some stuns out. Fenrir with the Echo Slam. They fissured it. They slammed it. Super gets the Aegis. Not sure about the Cheese. It did go to the Lifestealer, but still, they're going to actually disengage that fight beautifully. And FY coming in. They're actually going to be able to bring down the Lifestealer. He's going to lose everything here just for the Cheese. He has his buyback, but my goodness, what a play from Vici. They spread the map nicely. They get a tier 2 tower. They look like they're just going to give the Roche freely to Newbee-Y. And then with the Fissure and the jump in from the Storm Spirit, they get snatched. That is actually tremendous for Vici.
And they took a tier 3 tower on top, which is huge.
Oh, wow, yeah. Was that just Creeps, or who was involved in that?
That was how. He didn't even come to the Roshan pit.
Yeah, he was preoccupied. Pushing away, Desolator, obviously really good for that. And it looks like he's back at it, although he is missing quite a bit of HP.
Yeah, that really couldn't have gone any worse for Newbee-Y.
Well, they got the Cheese. I guess if they lost the Cheese too, that would be one more
yeah, I guess so.
thing against them, but it's still, yeah, it's pretty painful. Now Super is gonna be just dynamite in these fights, and he's going in. The dynamite's about to explode all over the Skywrath Mage, and yeah, this is TNT. Tier 3 going down. Fortification available, but they have to use it immediately. Like they can't even hold it. We do have the Sniper, pretty much the ultimate high ground defender, looking for a play. But he doesn't want to pop his BKB too early, or they just disengage from him. Fissure comes out, now going on the Venge, who would be looking to swap him out anyways. Sniper pops the BKB, but against nothing. They use the BKB on nothing. They lose the top racks thanks to House Weaver. And there you go. That's Vici just absolutely dominating at all angles. Taking down the melee on bottom, both racks up top, and Newbee get nothing out of it. It's not, usually you see people like suiciding for racks, and there's a huge rubber band comeback gold swing. In this case, it just stays firmly in Vici's control. They lose nothing. They gain all of this map advantage, and they still have this Aegis for Super to go aggressive.
Yeah, this is the strongest point at Vici's lineup, pretty much. There's very little commitment they have to give to getting the chip damage on the building, so over time they slowly get it, and if Newbee split up a little too much to defend all the lanes, then they can get picked off so easily by the Prophet and the Earthshaker with the Zeus ults and the Storm.
So now you got the Butterfly on Weaver. There certainly are no Hexes to deal with that on the side of Newbee. No MKBs either. Oh, Hex just comes out for Brewmaster as I say that. So yeah, he kind of all ins on this Scythe of Ice, but it could be actually a really big pickup to keep them in the game. They're just looking to hold high ground as long as they need to, and although they don't have the best heroes to do it with, they don't have like the Fissure to bring across the lane, they don't have that, they still have good offensive potential. If they jump in and hex somebody, the Abyssal as well, like they can single out 1 or 2 people very easily with this Brewmaster, even prior to the split. But at least for now, it's still going to be them waiting for the opposition to make a jump on Sniper, and then when that happens, they go for the Nether swap back. Smoke of Deceit actually negates a lot of the Zeus ulti damage, but at the same time, Vici, they don't see 5 blips on the map, so they know there's somebody's on the hunt. FY getting hexed up. Big pickoff here if they can get it. Oh my gosh, he doesn't have buyback, and the fight just breaks out against Vici Gaming. Storm Spirit just zipping away. Ice, Ice, Ice left to die, essentially. They're going to tornado him up. Blink Dagger almost gets him out, but it doesn't come off cooldown time. Super's still in it, though. He has this Aegis. He wants to fight it out. This is very dangerous. This is a 3v5, but they're still going for it. Piao able to survive just narrowly, but Hao will pick him off in the back end. In the meantime, the Skywrath goes down, and actually Hao didn't commit to that kill. I thought the Weaver was almost in auto attack range, but the Brewmaster blinks out. He's fine, and it's actually just Vici taking losses, minus the Skywrath.
Yeah, it took a split, but they got pretty much all they could ask for out of that.
And they delay the Aegis time a lot. Like, essentially, they killed the Storm Spirit just by the fact that there's no way that he's going to be using his Aegis offensively in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's also very true. I mean, I think Vici's fine to keep farming. They're in no position where they're forced to make a move right now. They can get more items up, they can get their hexes, and Hao can get another item.
So this is something that I've wanted to talk a little bit about this entire game, but I really haven't found a chance. It looks like we have a bit of a standoff right now. So I want to talk about this Nature's Prophet and how he came online to this game. Oh, nice. Slow siege actually coming from the Weaver. That's annoying. But yeah, essentially, the Nature's Prophet, he started out in the jungle, and now he's found himself at nearly 25,000 net worth. Did this detract from Hao's progression? Is it the Nature's Prophet is farming up these almost 300 creeps, and therefore Weaver gets less off the map? Are they still, or are they getting a carry for free, essentially? Like, talk to me about the pros and cons of this Nature's Prophet.
Well, we kind of see it in the Zeus, honestly. That's where the farm is being taken out from. Okay. He's kind of being delegated to a smaller role because of this.
So their lanes obviously went bad for Ice, because like the Nature Prophet provides no presence, really. I mean, minimal presence, I guess I should say.
Yeah, and the thing is that Hao and Super, it seems like their game plan this entire game was to play pretty aggressively, and FY is the one taking all the space that they're making. He's playing aggressively too, but he's also managing to keep the lanes pushed out with his ults and just porting in and pushing them out with trees.
So, now at this point in the game, you've got some really offensive items for the Weaver, but he's nowhere near cap. Like, if this game does get stretched out a little bit here, Weaver has the ability to go for, like, Scotty Satanic, dropping the Desolator. Could go for, obviously, BOTs are really important in this late game stage. Divine Rapier, obviously, is the ultimate late game item once you are confident in your survivability, and he still has that 9-second BKB. I think Lifesteal is pretty important for that, though.
I feel like he's going to go for an MKB next because the sniper's picked up a talisman.
Yep, and I don't even think the talisman is going to turn into anything. I think he wants to force the Weaver into going for that Monkey King bar, and then he just drops the talisman and goes for a different item, like finishes the Mjolnir at least.
Yeah, I think he'll have to still get it regardless, just because of Haze as well. But
yeah. I mean, the one thing is the Brewmaster doesn't have an Aghanim Scepter, so Haze doesn't come out during the split. And Weaver's got a 9-second BKB as well as Lincoln Sphere. Do you think that the Haze is still an issue? Like, obviously you're going to not really want to be dodged by the Drunken Brawler, but the Drunken Haze doesn't seem to be as much of a factor for the Weaver here.
It won't be most of the time, but if his Lincoln is ever down, I'm sure that's something that Piao's going to be looking to do. Okay. Because the Weaver's outputting so much damage, then the Nature's Prophet as well. But he's got an MKB, so it's pretty much just the Weaver and Storm that you're going to look to get it on. So it makes it pretty likely that it will happen. Alright,
Shadowblade for the Lifestealer says, my taxi is not sufficient. I want to initiate my own way, and they're actually just going to jump on Fenrir, Abyssal, Assassinate, and that buys them 2 minutes. Like, that essentially says, you don't get to push high ground for 2 more minutes, and that's just back to farming for everybody else. Vici Gaming, they really cannot go into the base 4v5, especially against buybacks, which I presume are there. Let's look. We've got Sniper, Lifestealer, and Brewmaster. All the cores have buybacks. So no, it's just going to be a split push game for the next minute or so. And then Roshan is going to respawn, and that's where the fight's going to be. But actually, going in, Piao gets caught in the high ground here. I think he was D-warding, and now he's actually just takes a spill. Zeus pops the refresher, and it gets them that critical kill. I don't know if that allows them to breach, though. That is just going to be looking for the Skywrath. Nice swap out. Force Staff as well. They force the buyback on the Brew, and that's all that Super wanted out of this. So, in the end, pretty happy about it. FY gets some farm up top. Almost catches a Courier with the Sprout, but no. The Hyperstone is going to make its way to the Flying Courier, it looks like, and that's going to help the Sniper a lot.
Yeah, and unfortunately for 456, the gem just got given away, so he just picked up a Shadow Blade.
Oh, that was close. FY scouting for that courier, scouting at the secret shop, but they're actually keeping it kind of covered with 456 aggressive movement. But we'll see. Hex coming out against 456. Actually going to get just destroyed before he can even rage. No cheese, no rage. Down for 98 seconds, and now Vici want to force another buyback. If they can do that and disengage cleanly and then get the Roche, they have pretty much the best opportunity to siege possible. So right now, it's kind of a game of chicken. Lifestealer does not want to buy back here. That's what Vici need to have happen. How do they force it without committing too hard?
I think without the lifesteal, there's not much of an initiation from Newbee, so it's pretty easy for them to just kind of go high ground and start sieging it, pushing all the lanes in.
So tier 3 is going to take some damage for sure. The range Rex does not regenerate, so anything is going to be consequential. But right now, they're mostly top lane, where everything's already been destroyed. The base in shambles, and Fenrir gets swapped in. The buyback from the lifestealer, now that they've already started the fight. And that's actually going to be the only kill, it seems, because How is going to be on the run now. Oh, lifestealer, if he could close in on How, that would be huge. He's going to look for it. The Abyssal Blade is there. They actually get hit by the Shikuchi, so he knows what's up, but it's actually going to be down bottom. The fight breaks out. BKB comes out on ×2. The courier does go down in the end, but teleport away. Yeah, you never think about that Nature's Prophet TP with the BKB, but it is another tool to disengage, even if you don't have a scroll in your inventory. So, yeah, as it is, the buyback is forced out. They lose the Shaker, and I believe the Shaker only, right? Yeah, so, and they get some good siege damage, as you were talking about. There was no way for Newbee to really break that. Like, if the Weaver goes down, gets caught out by that Abyssal Blade, very different game. But as it is, they're able to walk away from it, take Roshan, and Newbee are maybe on their last legs. I mean, look at their buybacks. 4.5 minutes on the Brewmaster buyback, 6 minutes on the Lifestealer. If they just focus those heroes down, on the top of the fact that they have Aegis and Cheese right now, this should be the game winner for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's already so hard for them to deal with these heroes, and put an Aegis on this Storm now, and he's just not going to be able to be stopped.
And now How is just being a nuisance here. He's got a double damager in, so he puts some damage into the range racks, and actually they fortify it. They see the DD, and the Desolator right-clicks coming through, and they actually pop Glyph. I don't know if it could go worse for Newbee for these past couple of minutes, but it is now a very difficult situation for them to hold. The Hyperstone died earlier, by the way. I'm not sure who was able to snipe that. Probably the Weaver. But yeah, the Hyperstone was on the Courier. Sniper doesn't get that, so he's banking 5,600 gold without anything to buy because he can't finish his Mjolnir. So for the next minute and a half, he doesn't have that. And in the meantime, Vici have complete control. They put the Aegis on the Storm Spirit. The cheese went to... is that on the Courier? Where did the cheese go? It's in the pit. It's still in the pit. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's still there.
I guess it's in reserve. It's just, yeah, pasteurizing. It'll age a little bit. They'll dust it off, and they'll find it all the tastier then. But Fenrir gonna get jumped on. Hex comes through. Fenrir going down quickly. No Earthshaker for this fight. But in mid lane, they're just on the racks. A double ultimate coming in from Ice. Now bringing down the supports very, very quickly. But they do bring down Nature's Prophet. No buyback yet. He needs to buy back TP, but he's waiting for the cooldown. Now Aegis forced out from the Storm Spirit. Sniper buys back. And now Brewmaster just dueling it out. Doesn't even want to split. He finally breaks it out. But these Sprulings don't really do that much. Here, 56.5 minutes in, and the mid racks are gone. The bottom racks are gone. That is actually Vici Gaming just taking this one out. They have taken down all the racks. Mega creeps are on their way, and they can't even bring down Vici Gaming in the process. So now Storm Spirit jumping in, killing off SCC. Doesn't even get to finish his Mjolnir by the time he's about to go down here. Nukes, Ice. Not actually he's gonna get hexed up. No Force Staff out, so he will go down in a moment, but it's still Vici that have torn apart this base. They have just really done amazing in every single fight. You look at the graphs, and they have just won this victory. Now even suiciding in their faces. FY pushing in. He bought back. Does have to be a little careful here. Actually getting Abyssal. This is a dieback for the Nature's Prophet. And that is actually very painful. But just looking at it, it doesn't... A lot of damage done by the Lifestealer here. He's able to stay on target very nicely with this race car build. The Shadow Blade, the Phase Boots, the Sanjin Yasha. But it means he doesn't have anything in terms of AoE for these creeps. No Mjolnir for him. And that's GG.
Middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, and the cheese is still in the pit. Vici's not even worried.
Who needs it? Boom.
Victory.
That was a really cool lineup to see.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really sure how it would work out in the late game here for Vici Gaming. It felt like the sniper lifestealer just had kind of innate advantage, but the one thing was Newbee really didn't draft mid to late game teamfight control until their Brewmaster pick. Like, the Vengeful Spirit, the Skyrat, they're great in ganks. They provide great damage. But as far as actual control, so that lifesteal and sniper can just gun down a target and have that buffer so that they don't have to worry about themselves, they really just didn't have that. Newbee were able to use the Hex pretty efficiently for 1 kill. They always killed somebody when they went for the fights, but killing off 2, 3, 4 heroes, it became very difficult for them as Vici just got better and better with their engagements. Like, they were able to jump in, use the Zeus ultis always to bring people low, and the supports died instantly, taking away their control, or at least their second volley, and then the Storm Spirit and Weaver got to do whatever the hell they wanted. So, really a nice game overall from Vici Gaming, and I gotta say those last 5 minutes to where they forced buybacks, or they took objectives, they controlled the Roche pit, it really brought it back for them. Obviously, the big thing, the snatch from Super, while they took the Tier 3 top, that was what set all this in motion, and they hammer it home here 57.5 minutes in.
Yeah, they went for the secure late game with the Weaver against the Lifestealer and the Sniper. It's quite good against them late game if you get there the right items and the right heroes.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up here for iLeague China. It was a little bit awkward, but essentially right at the beginning of the morning, we learned that they were going to do both games at the same time. It was initially going to be Invictus Gaming versus Braveheart here to start, and then we'd follow it up with Vici versus Newbee.Y, but it actually turned out they were simultaneous games, so we picked up this match, and I'm glad we did, because we got to see an amazing late-game scenario for Vici running a tempo lineup, and that's something you don't always get to see. But nevertheless, FY God runs 597 GPM, just short of that quota of 600, but still rocking it on the Furion, and I hope we see that kind of draft from him again, because it seems like he thrives in a position where he can get farm. Sometimes that turns into just like a Midas, Leshrac, or Ancient Apparition, but in this case, he brings it to the next level and gets 6 slotted, so really cool to see from him. But that is going to conclude our broadcast for today. Obviously, IG versus Braveheart, that's already taken care of, as it was played at the exact same time, and so this 2-game series, or best of 2, concludes with Vici Gaming taking it 2-0 over Newbee.Y and putting themselves in a really nice spot early on in this qualifier. But that's going to be it here for us on Beyond the Summit. Thanks for tuning in, and you guys have a great evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you happen to be in the international world of Dota 2. But for commentators, of course, I myself am Blaze. You can follow me at BlazeCasting. My wonderful co-commentator here is FlyingZebra. We'll be bringing you guys more Chinese Dota 2 throughout the week, and he is over at FlyingZebra Dota. And of course, you can also look up at Beyond the Summit to see any action on behalf of their studio. So we're going to obviously got iLeague heading throughout the next couple weeks. Star Ladder's coming up, so shoot them a follow, keep on top of the action, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.